Did you feel that? Vegeta looked at both Piccolo and Cooler, hoping that what they sensed was different. Yes, I don't particularly like the sensation. Is this how it works with you people? Sensing energy without scouters? Cooler was looking toward the surface of the world, where this energy source was coming from. What happened? Was there some weird change? The Namekian seemed rather anxious, which was quite unusual for Cooler to process. And what had proven to be even worse for them was that this new version of Majin Buu was drawing nearer by the second, as if it had realized exactly where they were. Did it also give them the ability to feel their presence? Well, they found out soon enough, as what arrived before them wasn't the creepy, rotund baby man, but rather a muscular and lean entity that had absolutely no charm at all. I was promised a good fight. Produce the challenger. All right, which one of you is it? Don't be shy. Come forward. The time has arrived. I think you'll find out that you are one day too early. Cooler wasn't intimidated that easily. By the way, your visage seems to be rather different. Care to explain? So does yours. Smaller and softer. The monster grinned. Guess I will have to eat you all to make up the time. The Emperor narrowed his eyes, again, not intimidated. Before you do that, we might try going properly one-on-one. I didn't show you my full potential the last time that we had met. I can keep you occupied for a short while. The stronger warrior is still cooking inside of there. It's your fault for coming too early, not ours for under-delivering. Vegeta gritted his teeth. He knew that there was no way for Cooler that he could really be that strong, but he said nothing. He would not exactly say no to Cooler getting a beatdown. I will destroy you easily, Buu smirked, and then I will eat you up. If you knock me down, fine, have at me. But let's make this a challenge, shall we? A bit of a game? No changing me into food products before I am beaten. That to me feels like cheating, and rather boring. And you do seem like somebody who likes to have a little bit of a game, right? The monster chuckled. You think that you are the one who is allowed to make the rules? I am the stronger of the two. I get to say what happens. And trust me, I'm impressed. Though what feels like a bigger step up is your new ability to formulate proper sentences. I thought that the legendary Majin Buu would have been fearless and up for a challenge. Don't tell me that I'm mistaken now, am I? If this is a trick, I will kill you all where you stand, and then change you into a popsicle. Oh, fine, whatever that is. I have no care for what you say. Cooler flew into the air and allowed the power to flow through his body, going quickly through his fifth form and ending up with his sixth. Now, he was slightly towering over the pink menace, slightly taller. And then the fight began. There, of course, was no surprise that Majin Buu was the stronger of the two. But this time, the Emperor went into full defensive mode, using his headtails as protection, or to simply bamboozle his opponent. He was taking hits, but at this point, his natural resilience and fortitude was mitigating the severity. The fact that he wasn't going on the offensive was to his advantage. As long as Majin Buu was not bored by the play that they were having, he was relatively safe. He would not die this day. If he doesn't blast him with some crazy attack though, he should be able to sustain the damage for a very long time. Long enough for the boys to do what they need to do? Perhaps. It was ironic that he would become the shield for this pitiful little planet, but it was the first and hopefully the last line of defense. And as the Emperor of the Universe, he was willing to do his duty in order to maintain said universe. Sometimes he would give Buu the slip slightly, just to keep the mad genie entertained, surprising him, as well as Piccolo and Vegeta, with the knowledge of the Destructo Disc. Apparently, Frieza stole it from one of those Earthlings, well, if his brother could do it, then so could he. It wasn't a very difficult technique anyway. They were going at this for hours, making Cooler feel as if he was some sort of indestructible pet's toy. He decided to accept this, but some part of him was still regretting his decision. "You don't break easily, I'll give you that." Boo gave him a toothy grin. "Maybe I should just eat you and be done with it." "Oh, you're giving up already? I knew that I was right, that you were a sore loser." The Emperor was trying to catch his breath and also dangle some bait. "You are starting to bore me. Even your taunts are losing their effect. All right, you pink creep, how about a tag team event?" It was Vegeta stepping in, to Cooler's surprise. He was coming in to help him. Obviously, his attack didn't do much, but it was enough to give the Emperor a little bit of breathing room for the first time in hours. Still, they faced the weaker version of that monstrosity before. There was no way they could succeed right now, even if there were two of them. They were living on borrowed time right now, and both of them knew it. As they were then getting Boo's attention, they then noticed that Piccolo had moved to a safe location, a safe distance away from them, and it was clear that Namekian was trying to do something away from the attention of Boo. Well, being able to communicate it without words, they decided to give him some place and space to do whatever he was trying to do. They then both unleashed some of their most powerful ki attacks, a combo of the Death Ball and the Big Bang attack. But this merely singed the beast. Sure, it was better than doing nothing, but it was barely something. "All right, you have bored me. It is time to end you." Majin Buu was preparing to turn them into a more digestible food product. But as his antenna started to glow pink, a wave of green energy went around them, sending him into a spiral. The creature roared angrily as he was being pulled into a small bottle, which Piccolo locked up with a small cork. A genie in a bottle. "So that's how that Mafuba thing works." Cooler tilted his head. "So, are we done? Is he?" Vegeta looked at the container, quite surprised. But suddenly, the bottle started to show minimal signs of fracturing. They were appearing slowly, but they were forming, and that was meaning that they didn't have long to do the deed properly. "I don't think I'm strong enough to contain him there permanently. We need something stronger to contain him fully." Cooler glared at the Namekian. "Well, he won't be very happy when he's let out. How long do you think that thing can hold him?" Piccolo seemed uncertain about this particular caveat. He could only guess. "Well, I can do it for enough, I hope." "All right, quit bickering, you two. Can't we get some senzu beans for the cat downstairs while the Boo thing is out?" Vegeta tried to be the voice of reason, surprisingly, which surprised his two situational allies. "That is surprisingly level-headed of you, Vegeta," Cooler nodded. "That is a good idea. If the children will be ready by the time he is out, I don't think we'll be able to calm him down, and I doubt the same trick would work a second time." The prince looked at the Namekian, puzzled. "You said that the containment is scaled with our power, right? Maybe you can teach one of us this?" "I could do that, yeah." Piccolo looked around. "But do we have time for you to learn this? If he's still in the bottle by the time those two runts have exited, perhaps we can toss him in there and destroy the doors. There is no way of escape, even if he does escape the bottle." The Emperor was pondering this idea. "That could seal him in there effectively," Piccolo was thinking, using the knowledge of Kami, and this turned out to be a decent idea. "But that would also mean that the Room of Spirit and Time would be no longer available to us," Vegeta hissed. He quite liked that chamber. "Would you miss it?" Cooler smirked. He wasn't going to reveal to them that he was looking for more of those, that they indeed did exist outside of Earth. "That would make you vulnerable," he said, getting Vegeta's hateful gaze in response. "Go get the beans, Prince. We will guard the bottle." The two took the container back to the lookout. It was quite warm, and the cracks were slowly starting to increase in length. The prince had begrudgingly brought them back some senzu beans from Korin so they could recover, ready for round 2 whenever that would may be. The time for Goten and Trunks to leave the chamber was fast approaching, but the bottle was looking more and more in a rough state. Finally, it burst open. no longer being able to contain the Boo of within. He was steaming with anger.
You tricked me! Now all of you will die! Wait! Wait!
Piccolo looked at the door, leading to the time chamber.
Your warrior will be here in exactly 1 hour. If he's not out, you can destroy us all. We won't defend. What are you doing, Namekian?
Shouted Cooler and Vegeta at the same time, glaring at the comrade angrily, but Boo seemed rather amused by seeing the rift within the group forming, and smirked.
Only 1 hour?
Just 1 hour. Piccolo looked to the Emperor and the Saiyan. Neither was happy about this situation and development, but they had to collaborate. This was the only plan they had right now. The Namekian then projected a huge hourglass before the monster.
Once the sand in this hourglass stops falling, you can fight our champion. How does that sound?
All right. Majin Buu's eyes were peering into each grain of sand, as if the monstrosity were counting every single grain. Billions of them. Cooler was almost doing the same. For a moment, a realization of clarity came to his mind. What on earth was he doing here? Waiting for some brats to save them? Allowing himself to look like a fool? Joining in this idiotic ruse? Yet, he knew that this thing was considered the pinnacle of trouble, mischief, fear, carnage, chaos, even by his father. And as such, his mind wasn't protesting as much as he thought. This felt like the only shot they had right now. Blasted guys. What were they doing with Son Gohan for so long? He was so important to them all. Suddenly, after a mere 30 minutes, Boo smashed the hourglass.
I am bored. I will kill you all now. What? But we had a deal.
Piccolo tried to look surprised.
I don't need to join your deals if they bore me.
The monster started to look more and more irritated and tired of the charade.
To be fair, if you came at the right time, we wouldn't have to stall you. Face it, you're just scared.
Vegeta smirked.
Not scared. You say that I am again. You will be the first thing that I consume.
That would be so much better, wouldn't it, Prince? We wouldn't have to smell the scent of fear. Cooler nodded slowly.
I will kill.
You keep saying that. Listen, if you can kill us, kill us. But if you do so, now, there will be no fight with our champion. I can promise you that. You won't get any fun or challenge. You will leave bored and frustrated. Do you truly want that? The Emperor looked defiantly at the creature. It seemed as if Boo was about to charge at Cooler for his insubordination, beat him to a pulp. But then the doors to the chamber opened, with Goten and Trunks exiting.
These children are your champions? Ha! That's a good joke. I will give you that.
Boo's anger evaporated completely when he had started to laugh. He looks different. Trunks seemed puzzled at the new look for Majin Buu.
Stop wasting everyone's time, brats, and get on with the fusion. We are running out of time.
Cooler yelled at the boys.
Hey, stop picking on us!
Trunks protested.
Boy, do what he said.
Vegeta also yelled, causing the boys to quickly perform the fusion dance and to become Gotenks. To the utmost irritation of the three teachers, this new fighter had quickly proven to be quite formidable, but also extremely showboaty, toying with Buu a lot, and having gimmicky powers. That was something they really could not stand.
Stop playing with it and kill it!
Cooler roared at them, which prompted this new warrior to turn Super Saiyan, and with that, well, the fight was something else, and the Emperor had to admit that this wasn't bad. He faced Son Goku, saw the rise of his son, and he himself faced the likes of Cell and Demon King Dabura. But this was almost cartoonish, and he could tell that Buu was not enjoying the experience whatsoever. It seemed that Gotenks was doing some real damage, but would that be enough? Vegeta looked at Piccolo.
They're not using their entire strength yet. What? Why?
The Namekian seemed surprised at this revelation and confused as to why they weren't just doing the job.
This might be the most dangerous being in the universe,
shouted Cooler in return.
If you can finish it, finish it. Trunks, if you are in there, you will be grounded if you don't stop fooling around.
Cooler felt as if half of Gotenks swallowed loudly. This was more like his father. Grounding meant being kept under the rubble of some kind of demolished building for 3 days? I think that's what he meant. Yeah. Finally, it seemed that the boys started to get serious as they underwent another transformation. It was the same form that Son Goku had shown, so this fused runt had greater potential than even his greatest rival himself. Well, for sure, he didn't have the personality or the spirit of a true fighter, yet watching Super Buu being beaten up into a pulp right now was weirdly cathartic. So cathartic, in fact, that Cooler decided to join in on the beating, helping out Gotenks, assisting the kids, and then so did Vegeta and Piccolo. As Buu seemed the most battered, Gotenks started to charge his ultimate attack, but then suddenly, their hair reverted to their base form, the small fighter being the most surprised out of everyone.
It drained you, just like it drained Kakarot. Get out of there!
Vegeta yelled, realizing what was going to happen. The fear in Buu's eyes then changed to fury as it started to rapidly regenerate. Before Gotenks was able to gain any distance, he threw a part of his body away. This confused the Fused Warrior as to why Buu was doing this, but Cooler was able to understand what he was trying to do. As this blob-like piece was trying to get around, he tried to shoot it out of the air with his own attacks. It wasn't as effective as he had hoped though. As it got closer to Gotenks, it opened as if it were a large sheet of pink material. Cooler reacted in an instant. He lashed the Fused Warrior with his tail, moving it away before he got submerged into the gross gum-like flesh. As it covered him, it returned to Buu's body, who started to laugh out loud as multiple antennae started to appear on his head, and he started to become larger in stature. Was it the right decision for Cooler to do this? Cooler, the Emperor of the Universe, was absorbed. But was he really? He felt like he was in a weird, half-lucid dream. The inside of this organism felt like a weird network of veins and gooey formations. But he was aware of all of that. Well, one thing that this margin cretin had not accounted for was that a sick-form Cooler would not be an easy pill to swallow. He was submerged in something resembling a cocoon, but his head tails could still move, slowly cutting him away. Buu was still quite shocked that his new form had dropped as quickly as it originally appeared. What was even more shocking was the fact that 2 new challenges had arisen. One of them was Gohan, but he looked different. The other one, Son Goku, and his halo was missing. Things started to look pretty bleak for Majin Buu. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.